Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's the SCB Steelers Podcast presented by DEK Roofing Incorporated of South Florida. We are very proud to be part of the Variety Sports Network. And, of course, the show is coming to you from the Frank Walker Law Studios. And, yes, it is a Hump Day edition. I want to thank all the guys for adjusting. I got to be out of town tomorrow in a place where the internet largely doesn't exist. I mean, it does. It just sucks. So I'll see if I can improve that. But anyway, we're going a day early, and why not? I mean, hey, the Steelers had Pat McAfee there today, which I know Scarps was jealous that he was not also there. We'll get into that. Going to Utah, that's Vernon Maxwell. That's very funny. He goes at those people endlessly, and it's hilarious.
It is.
Yeah. Anyway, great to have everybody in. Burner, your very first comment, you basically described the entirety of the show, my man. Yeah, way too early predictions. We'll always have a few of those, and I'll have to stop the interrupting. At least I think. Well, yeah, 5 times. Greater, yes, absolutely. Melvin, hello. Aaron, hello. Joe, hello, and hello to everybody else out there. And okay, Burner, I'm just going to start with you, and I'm gonna put this up here. Burner's comment, did y'all hear about that anonymous coach saying Will Howard will be the next Big Ben?
I saw a very reliable source on Twitter mention that.
Extremely reliable source. And I could not help but notice the engagement that tweet got. Several hundred likes and numerous retweets, and I did not know that Burner had an inside source, and we are going to have to tap into the source a little more often. Personally, I thought it was an outstanding tweet and highly entertaining. Let's just 5,000. And it's on Steelers Face.
You know you've made it when you made it on Steelers Face.
Oh man, I'm telling you what. What would we call that?
I think I sent it to you guys, and I said this is an elite level troll.
It's a fantastic troll.
It was outstanding.
It was fantastic. I mean, he is the next Big Ben. If Big Ben was a third-team quarterback his entire career, absolutely.
Yes, and we'll of course be somewhat nice to Aaron. No, we won't.
That would be our tweet of the week if we actually took the time to figure out the tweet of the week.
Oh, so that would be that could end up being like the tweet of the week, tweet of the month, tweet of the year.
Definitely going to be the tweet of the offseason. I mean,
yeah, it very well could be. Anyway, the guys were in pads today after they were forced inside yesterday. And no, they don't really do much contact inside on the gym floor, kids. Anyway, they were back at it today, and sadly, the actual on the field stuff seemed to get, I don't know, pushed out of the way simply because everybody was more interested in talking about Pat McAfee's show being there. And I'll just say this, and then I'll turn it over to you guys. I thought the fuck Myles Garrett thing funny, but there's no need for that. There's hundreds of kids running around there. Come on.
Agreed.
I mean, you know what? He's a Brown. I don't like him either for numerous reasons, but come on. It's training camp. And that's just, I'm an old fuddy-duddy. Sorry. Scarps, what was your reaction about the Pat McAfee show today at training camp?
No, I messaged the group. I didn't like it. And it's not that I don't like Pat. I do like Pat. And I know who Pat is. I know what he brings. I respect it. He had a really successful playing career. He built he built his media career from nothing. I mean, I don't want to call it an empire, but it's a big deal.
It is.
It's a big deal.
He started a podcast.
Yeah, and look at
YouTube.
there's hope there's hope for us.
There is.
But it came across as a little bit amateurish.
Yep.
I feel like that setting's reserved for college game day and a different type of atmosphere, a different type of crowd. I mean, there were so many people on stage like the whole time. Like it was just like it just seemed like a circus. And I'm sure it was fun for the people that participated, but yeah, you're right, Steel Dad. There's a bunch of kids running around, but you got asshole adults jumping in line for to get autographs ahead of kids.
Yeah.
And I agree. Like the fuck Myles Garrett thing is like, okay, listen, like, and I'm gonna say this on the show. They're both great football players. They don't even play the same position, but it's like, do you give a shit about Myles Garrett that much in that moment?
Exactly.
That you have to say that. And like, of course, every I'm gonna say it, every jerk off Steelers fan on Twitter is like, yeah, fuck Myles Garrett, man. It's like who gives a shit? And like for the interviews themselves, like I thought even Aaron Rodgers today, like saying like, what do you think about people? You're 41 years old to say you can't play anymore. I don't give a shit. Even at that, I'm just kind of like, okay, I get it. But the whole thing just seemed overblown. And I told you guys, like, call me a boomer or whatever, but like, man, I really like training camp when it was just about it was about the game. It was about, seeing if a player not supposed to make the team makes the team, and if a player who's supposed to make the team doesn't make the team.
Mm-hmm.
My first year there, they were still doing 2-a-days before the new CBA, and there wasn't that circus. But I get it now. The NFL's 24/7, 365. They need to make money, and I'm sure they made money today somehow. But yeah, I just to me it just seemed a little out of place to play Trobe.
I liked your term kind of amateurish.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it felt like to me too. Yeah. Ben, did you get a chance to watch any or see any of it today? Now here's a guy who needs to unmute himself.
A little bit. I've been pretty busy lately with work.
Yes.
So there hasn't been a lot of downtime to enjoy the Steelers training camp like I usually do. But yeah, some of it. And yeah, I mean, McAfee does his thing, man. I mean, that's his show. Yep. That's cool. I get it. He's from Pittsburgh. He's a burger. Pittsburgh's a football town. He's going to play it up, have a good time with it.
Yep.
It's fine, I guess. It's whatever. I agree. That was unnecessary. And I mean, do we really need to put Garrett down to build TJ up? Do you think TJ gives a shit? I don't.
No.
I don't think he cares. I don't think he gives
either.
a shit. I think that he doesn't enjoy being slighted at times when he's busting his ass and showing how good he is, and Garrett's getting a bunch of almost sacks. But if you want to be mad about that, be pissed at the guys who voted for it because they were influenced by PFF, which sucks. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
and I'll stop there.
Yeah,
it should have been fuck PFF. That I could go along with, and it'd be like, kids, this is a valuable life lesson. PFF sucks. Don't ever invest any time in that because it's bullshit.
No. Ian, I'm sure you were watching Pat McAfee today from your window or something.
Yeah, let me tell you, I was all over that. I think, the one thing I think we have to remember about McAfee is he's an entertainer. He is not there to give you analysis or hard-hitting reporting or anything like that. His show, his shtick, everything, it's all about entertainment. And people grasp onto that, right? Like, but it's not, it's much different than, I won't say NFL Network because that was also a circus that came through town that I'll let Ryan talk about that. But it's not like if, Pro Football Talk or the Dan Patrick Show or something like that came in, right? Those guys are actually attempting to do journalism most of the time.
They're funny. They're funny. They have a good sense of humor, but you're right.
Yeah. Well, that was why I said attempting to do journalism. So, but it's different than that, right? McAfee is purely there for entertainment. And I think it was Ryan that said it was like a college game day type atmosphere. He's absolutely right. Like they're parading people on stage. They had like Pittsburgh Dad pop up and all this other stuff. I mean, just look at the picture of McAfee there, right? He's sitting there in a Pittsburgh Steelers t-shirt that he cut the sleeves off of, with a Turner's iced tea sitting in front of him. Like basically they just crammed all the Pittsburgh stuff you could, with St. Vincent College and training camp as the backdrop. It's just, it is what it is, right? And you can't come into it expecting it to be like hard-hitting journalism, right? That said, there was some entertaining stuff, there was some dumb stuff, but of all the circus that came through camp this week with Kyle Brandt and then Pat McAfee and all that, there was actually some insightful answers to some questions. I thought, for Kyle Brandt doing interviews in a Jerome Bettis jersey, which really isn't like the most professional looking thing, and talking about his kids getting to meet their heroes and all that.
Getting to that.
Sorry, I'm kind of segueing.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
But I thought some of the answers that he got, right? Some of the answers he got out of Tomlin and out of Aaron Rodgers, like, were actually kind of insightful and useful. And I was like, oh, this is actually like good to listen to, despite the semi-professionalism of it.
Well, and Scarps, I'll let you take this one. Kyle Brandt of NFL Network, I like him. I think he does a good job. I think he's insightful, and I don't typically think he takes himself too seriously. He just does a nice job. He was at camp this week. A couple of real nice interviews with Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers, and he did so wearing his Jerome Bettis jersey. And so Scarps, you having been on the end of bringing these guys into St. Vincent and everything, have you ever had a guy come in wearing a Steelers jersey before?
Not that I can remember. And I said this to you guys, like, I really do like Kyle Brandt. I think he's funny. I think he's entertaining. I think he does a really good job. And what I like probably most about him is that over the past couple of years, he's not afraid to criticize the Steelers, right? Like he has talked about,
he did big time.
But I just like when there's just, I just don't think I could take you seriously when you're supposed to be objective and unbiased and you're wearing a bus jersey like as your interview. And now I'm not saying the interviews were bad or anything like that, but and getting back to the whole circus thing, and because I worked there a very long time, and I was part of this, we roll out the red carpet for the national people. We do.
Yeah.
That's just what we do. We know when Peter King's coming. We know when Judy Batista's coming. We know when NFL Network's coming. We know when Pat and Kyle Brandt weren't there at the time, but we know when the big guys are coming, right?
Yeah.
And it sucks because like we give them the special access, yet the locals don't get any access. I mean, they get access, but like it basically they'd be like, Ryan, why is so-and-so allowed to go over there? I'd be like, and it's like, what am I mean, I'd fucking lie through my teeth. And it was one of the many reasons why, again, I'm grateful for working there, but one of the many things I didn't agree with and why I was like, you know what, this probably isn't for me, but it isn't fair.
Why is Jay Glazer just walking over wherever he
wants? Well, he's the exception. He's the exception because he's Tomlin's boy, but like, and I mean this, like, I gotta, Kabali. I love Kabali. And I even to this day, I'll text him and be like, you were right. He'll be like, Scarps, what the fuck, man? Like, you won't let me take 2 steps over the line, but Jay Glazer could do whatever he wants. And it's like, how am I supposed to answer that? So these guys who are there every single day, sweating their nuts off, like not getting to talk to anybody. The access is way more limited than what it was when I was there. And you got Kyle Brandt sitting up there underneath the tent in a Jerome Bettis jersey, be like, so Coach T, talk to me. Like, it's just like this, like, it's just, and the other thing too is, and you saw the interactions with other NFL Network reporters or other reporters. And this is going to come up a little bit later in Casey, but they're glazing the Steelers because they're glazing Tomlin, they're glazing Rodgers.
Yes.
The Kool-Aid is the strongest it's been right now. No, Ben, you could rebuttal. But
I'm going to rebut you when you get done.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish, Scarps.
But no, I just and I understand why they're glazing because they're getting this access. They have to make it look good.
Yeah.
But I can't take you seriously when you come there with Steelers gear on. You're not a team employee. I don't care if you're a Steelers fan or not. Brian Baldinger was there today. Love Baldy. Love Baldy's breakdown.
I'd have much preferred to watch him than McAfee, to be honest with you.
He didn't have a Steelers jersey on. I know you telling me he doesn't. He respects the Steelers. He commends them. He applauds them. But he didn't. It's like you're a fan. I talked enough.
Yeah, Ben, go ahead.
I think that what Scarp's saying about I'm having a difficult time taking you seriously because you're wearing a Steelers jersey is a fair criticism. I truly do.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing we need to bear in mind is that the Steelers are his son's favorite team, and he took his son to camp.
Yep.
And that's kind of what it comes down to. Now, would I have done it? No, I wouldn't have. I understand his decision. I just can't condone it. And that's my whole rebuttal. That's it.
And all I'll add to it is this. You guys might remember it was probably 10, 11 years ago that I got invited. Big Ben was doing his football camps back then.
Oh, yeah.
And I got invited to go be part of the media at his camp. And it was Father's Day weekend. And I think I found out on Friday and the camp was Sunday. It was on Father's Day. And so, naturally, my son, what's the first thing he asked me? Dad, can I go with you? Yeah. and I was specifically told, this you're going as a part of the media. This isn't a family fun day.
Right.
And that sucked having to tell my kid, hey, I'm sorry. I can't, you can't come,
Yeah.
And so when I do see somebody like Brandt do that, look, I don't blame him. I wish I could have done the same thing, and I would have if I could have, but I couldn't. So to Scarp's point, I totally understand the animosity that's built up by guys like Cavalli and some of these others that are there every freaking day, okay, and doing the work, and then Joe Schmo from whatever network just comes strolling in, and I get it. The national networks are a big deal. I get it. But I just don't like the message it sends to the local guys who are working their tails off.
I think it's fair. I think, I mean, everything, nothing really that insightful has been said here, but I get it. I understand everybody's critiques and reservations and, putting yourself in that position. Yeah, it was Father's Day and you couldn't take your kid with you. I mean, shit.
And I understood why. It was made clear, and to be real honest with you, there was only a couple other media people there. I mean, this was just his football camp, and
I think it was three guys, as I recall.
Yeah, there was like 3 or 4 other people there, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I was a little overwhelmed just because here's Ben Roethlisberger walking over towards me, shaking my hand to welcome me there, and I'm like,
with his gigantic hands,
with his huge mitts, and so I had to immediately snap myself out of it and remember what I was there for. And so yeah, I mean, I don't, have any ill will towards Kyle Brandt or anything like that. It was about the look, it was just about the look. Yeah. So anyway, that's what's been going on the last couple of days in the media circles and everything else. But they've actually been on the football field, believe it or not. And I'm going to ask you guys this question.
Today they were in pads and everything. Yay.
They were. They actually looked like football players today.
They did.
Yeah. Here's my question. If both guys were valued at the exact same in terms of a contract, okay, Ian, I'll start with you. Who would you rather have at left tackle, Broderick Jones or Dan Moore?
For just this year or for the rest of their career?
Jesus.
I'm going to say just this year.
I mean, reports so far are not good about Broderick Jones at left tackle. I think Broderick has a lot more upside than Dan Moore, but it's kind of a scary proposition right now. So, I mean, Dan Moore wasn't great, but he was serviceable.
Uh-huh.
I still think I would bet on Broderick's upside a little bit, but it's really close.
Okay. Ben, what would you do in that scenario?
I'd take Broderick Jones, but Broderick Jones is significantly cheaper than Dan Moore, so this really isn't a conversation.
Well, like I said, I'm looking at it as if both guys were of equal value.
I think that Jones has got a lot higher ceiling than Dan Moore, who we know sucks.
And got paid for something.
He got paid big time.
Yeah.
Because teams are so desperate for tackle talent that they will pay mediocrity pretty good money because, hey, this guy was serviceable.
And experienced.
Yeah, he's got lots of starts under his belt. Let's start him. Let's pay him. That dude he'll be unemployed in 2 years, and he'll be a journeyman tackle the rest of his life. So regardless, he got a big contract. He got plenty of guaranteed money. If it was any of us, we would live on $100,000 this year and put all the rest of the money away and live on that the rest of our lives. If he gets 2 years out of that contract, he is set for life. Good for Dan.
Yeah. Absolutely. Scarps, what would you do in that scenario? Just for this year. Both guys same.
I'm gonna take Dan Moore because the way Broderick Jones has looked and now he's hurt, he's gonna get Aaron Rodgers killed, and I already have concerns about that. And I don't think Dan Moore is great. But he was available almost all the time. More often than not, he minimized Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett had some decent games against him, but there were games where Myles
games against him.
Huh?
He had good games against him. Do you know how many sacks Dan Moore gave up last season, dude?
His overall career, though, he did pretty well against.
I think
he did well against Myles Garrett when he was injured. Otherwise, he was.
Oh man, you sound like Steelers fans making excuses for TJ Watt right now. Who are you?
Straight up saying that dude is not good. Dan Moore is not good.
Okay, but
he's a bottom 15 tackle.
Okay, well, he was also a 4th round pick, right? It's a 4th round pick who made a lot.
Who was forced into service and made the most of it, and he's
okay.
Basically, he's kind of overachieved, frankly, because he got the big contract. And hey, kudos to Dan. That's great. It's wonderful. Right. This is not a guy you want to be your franchise left tackle.
Okay, to your question, Seal Dad.
Yeah.
If it was this year,
I'm
going with Dan Moore. He's proven that he's capable, and I got too many question marks about Broderick Jones, and I got a 41-year-old quarterback that's not 2 years coming off of an Achilles injury, that is going to be super pissed off if he gets hit.
Yep.
Yeah. Damn right. And
I mean, it used to take Ben. Like, Ben would get popped a few times before he's like, what the fuck, guys? Like, Rodgers is going to snap the first time he's hit because somebody blew an assignment.
No, I agree. I think, there is just so much attention focused on Jones right now, rightfully so. He's a first-round draft pick. He's playing his more natural left tackle position. And based on what we've all heard and what we've all been told, it's been a struggle so far in camp. Now, he came in about 20 pounds lighter. He's a little bit more of what he was at Georgia, I guess. And the fleet of foot, the nimbleness with his feet was never a question. But now he's got a nagging kind of soft tissue. They think it's around the hip issue or area.
And the thing that bothers me is the quote from Dulac. And they're like, the Steelers think the world of Broderick Jones. They just wish he would take the job more seriously. That is not some shit you want to hear about your left tackle.
No.
And I keep coming back to this, and I'm sorry, but what is the deal with Pat Meyer? What the fuck? First, he plays the guy out of position for 2 years, doesn't try to develop him, doesn't work with him enough. Last year, it seemed like he regressed. This year, he's regressing. If the line doesn't gel together this year, that's the guy I'm holding accountable. I'm sorry. By the way, Troy Fautanu today apparently acquitted himself pretty well.
Yes. That's what the words have been.
He's going to be a very good right tackle, in my opinion. He's going to be fucking vicious in run blocking.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a guy next to him who is just Mr. Hulk smash. Maybe doesn't get his assignment right all the time, but
yeah. Well, I go back to when years ago when I played, it was like, hey, if you're going to make a mistake, do it going 100 miles an hour.
Right.
Make the mistake. But
Greg Wolfley used to talk about that all the time.
Yes. That was an old school thing. Even if you screw up, do it going 100 miles an hour. No doubt. Scarps, Ian, you said that Joe sent you a question earlier today?
Yeah, on Twitter.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so he just asked us for the group, does the potential emergence of Nick Herbig make Alex Highsmith expendable?
No.
So throwing it out there for the group from Joe. Thanks for listening and commenting, Joe.
Yes, as always, Joe. I do not think so, for the simple reason that Highsmith sets a much better edge than Herbig does.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And that's
I know Joe in real life, and I haven't seen him for a while because he doesn't come to the bar where we watch the games anymore because he doesn't like somebody there. But Herbig is so bad at setting the edge that they drafted Jack Sawyer, who can only set the edge.
If all Herbig had to do was pass rush all the time,
he'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Herbie's a really good pass rusher. He can run around guys, no problem. He's a good pass rusher, but in terms of setting the edge, he is really poor, or has been. Hopefully he's gotten better, because if he doesn't get better, he's never going to be a starter.
That's.
By the way, his brother retired this week.
He did. His brother Nate retired after 7 or 8 seasons. That seems so odd
in the middle of camp.
Yeah. What was his injury last year that knocked him out for the year?
It was pretty bad. It was a leg injury, I thought.
Yeah, right? I wonder if he just couldn't
get back from it.
Yeah, and it's so easier said than done for these guys to do that.
Yeah,
Burner, I think that Sawyer is going to be a good special teams player.
Burner says if Jack Sawyer isn't an above average player and that Titans wide receiver we should have drafted performs well, I'm gonna set myself on fire outside. Do it close to the river, man, so you can jump in real quick,
and then take a whole bunch of antibiotics, because those rivers are disgusting.
Well, the Mon's worse than the Allegheny, I think.
Actually, not true.
Really?
Yeah. So see, now you got me started.
Yeah, let's not get into the sediments and stuff of which one's darker and which one's letting.
The Mon has a silt bottom, so it looks dirtier, but the Allegheny has a rock bottom, so it looks cleaner. But there's more factories and shit that dump stuff into the Allegheny. So the Allegheny is actually dirtier.
Okay, thanks,
ladies and gentlemen. This has been Science Minute.
Thanks. More than I wanted to know, and I will not remember this.
Outstanding.
The Allegheny's prettier.
Yes.
Thanks.
Indeed. Yeah. Scarps, if you could have one wish for this year, anything related to the Steelers, what would that wish be?
A free safety or a wide receiver too?
Maybe.
Other than like Patrick Mahomes magically becoming a Steeler, right? Like we were talking something realistic.
Something real. Yeah.
Aaron,
that's terrible. I sit here and talk about the need
3 more inches in girth. Aaron. 3 more inches in girth.
This is a family show, Aaron. You should be.
I need 3 less inches, Aaron. Wait till Casey later. We're gonna get the FCC. The FCC is gonna be calling.
The freaking FCC.
We're already banned in England, so it's okay.
Right. We've been banned according to their new policies.
Yeah.
Really?
Good thing Ellie moved to America, so she can still, listen to our show.
You can still say bad words.
Yes.
And anything, Scarps? Anything that comes to mind? I can come back to you. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Ben or Ian, do you guys know what you?
Yeah, I need a minute.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, if this was a genie in a bottle, any one wish like Patrick Mahomes would be great, But
sure,
that's not going to happen. So
right,
yeah,
that's
again
realistic. I would
something
give you something realistic. If I could have one wish for the whole season, is that I hope they're exciting and entertaining. That the last couple years has been boring and a slog to watch, and even the last couple Roethlisberger years was at times tough to watch, and then Ben would just kind of pull it out of his ass in the fourth quarter, and you're like, oh, he still kind of has it. But the Pickett years, and we got a little excitement with Mason Rudolph in that little run to the playoffs, but there hasn't been a whole lot of things to get excited about. And if I could have any wish for this team, I would really like it if they could just be exciting to watch this year. I don't really.
Okay.
I've already kind of resigned myself to the fact that I don't really care what the record is, because this is like a bridge season, right? We're just kind of playing the games and then hoping to draft a good quarterback next year. There's no long-term plan at quarterback right now. So, I'd be like, oh, I hope we draft Lenore Sellers in the spring, but who knows how that kid develops. So for this season, for the 2025 season, my hope would be that they're entertaining and exciting, and we don't just watch a bunch of 3 and out. Oh, we're down 21-0. Let's see what because that would suck.
I get you. Entertaining would be plus, right?
Yeah,
would be a plus.
Yeah.
Ben, do you have a wish?
I'd like them to sign Justin Simmons, but that probably isn't going to happen. So, I would like the young players to play well and to get a chance to develop this season. And I'd like to see that as a priority, developing those young players, maybe even as a priority over winning, thinking long term and being like, hey, I mean, they won't, because Mike wants to win games. Yeah, but I'd like to see those young players developed, because I think the last couple of years they've drafted pretty well. Broderick Jones is the only real question mark.
Yeah,
it is what it is, man.
Right. It's on him.
I mean, the dude has the physical talent.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have what it takes between the ears, if he doesn't have the heart, then he doesn't. I mean, the way he was winning his rookie season was all his technique was terrible. It was all his physical ability,
physical athletic abilities,
all of it.
Yeah.
And
Scarps, did you have a wish yet? Or? No, nothing.
I don't know. I don't even. I guess I would say not a wish, but a preference.
Okay.
Would be not the same old.
All right. Meaning?
I don't want to see the defense fold like a lawn chair when it matters most. I don't want to see the offense suck. I don't want to see us get out coached.
You don't want to see the team and the coaching suck. Okay.
Oh, I mean, I think that's fair. I mean, is Smitty here tonight? Are we allowed to
I haven't seen Smitty yet.
Okay. I guess I can talk about the playoffs.
Smitty was probably out at camp today. He's probably exhausted.
Nah, he had some really good tweets today. There was one. Just go to his feed. There was one that made me really chuckle. Anyway, I feel like this team just they just talk too much, and there's too much hype around them, and they haven't done anything. They haven't done anything for years, man. And I wish that they would not do what they've done for the last 8 seasons. And I'm not asking for a Super Bowl. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I'm saying that they don't get blown out in the first round of the playoffs. Maybe they win a playoff game.
Yeah.
But in doing so, it's not just is that a knuckle? That's what she said. It's just not the same old. It's not getting your brakes beaten off by the Jaguars or the Browns in the playoffs.
It's a knuckle followed by a swirl. Some of you will get that reference. And I agree with all of you. My wish is just for fans to accept a little more realism.
Nice.
Because there was a fan base 2 years ago that had a very similar amount of excitement that this fan base appears to right now. And that was the New York Jets fan base. And 4 snaps into their season. And obviously, I don't wish that on Aaron Rodgers or us or the Steelers or anything, but I think you have to understand that he's 41 years old. Broderick Jones is the left tackle right now, and we know he's struggling a little bit. Mason Rudolph is going to start games this year. I'm saying it right now. He will start games.
Mason Rudolph will start games this year because our quarterback will be hurt, is what you're saying.
Yes.
All right. That's fair.
And
I mean, Rudy's done okay. He's acquitted himself. I mean, a recent experience with the Steelers anyway.
Yeah. No, I just think
acquitted himself just fine. He has.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, I'm not saying that he's like great or should be a full-time starter or anything like Scarps thinks, but I do think that, he'll do okay in a backup role. I also don't think this team's winning a playoff game. I'm sorry. I just don't. I think they're going to win 10 or 11 games, and then they're going to go into the first round and dump it again. And, it is what it is. I mean, you get a bunch of guys, old guys on short-term contracts that the Steelers are trying to patch using spackle and baling wire and Band-Aids their roster with, knowing that these guys are old. It's a long season. By the time January runs around, these guys are beat up. They're having a hard time. Look at Dante Jackson last year. I mean, that just didn't work out. The dude he was so beat up. He came over from Carolina and played well.
And he started well.
He played well early season, and then once he got hurt, he didn't want to tackle anybody.
No.
And you can't be that guy. And I get it. I understand why they didn't re-sign him, but we're going to have repeats of that where this team in the difficult portion of their season, which is the latter half, you get a bunch of older guys who are going to be beat up and aren't going to want to play like that. I'm excited about the fact that Ramsey's playing nickel right now. He's playing a little safety. That's cool. I don't know what to think about Darius Slay because he's, again, an old guy who got beat badly today by Calvin Austin in that drill. That was bad, dude. That was bad. He was 2 steps behind. 2 steps.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
I go ahead, Scarps.
No, I would just say I think the Kool-Aid is very strong right now, but
yes,
it's July, dude. The Kool-Aid's always strong.
Yeah, but it is really strong. It is really strong.
It always is every year.
No.
It doesn't matter who they sign or who they draft. Every single year. Every year. Like all my friends give me shit about it. Why can't you just be optimistic? Why can't you? Because I'm a realist. And when am I fucking wrong? How often am I wrong? You guys need to shut up and be a little bit more realistic and adjust your expectations.
I have a
and
microphone.
then you won't be.
You don't.
You won't be so disappointed at the end of the fucking season because you were realistic in July.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think that the Kool-Aid's a little bit stronger this time.
Ian, I'll let you settle that. Is the Kool-Aid a little stronger this year than in previous years?
I think people are going to greater lengths to talk themselves into this team being good because they want it to be good rather than. So yeah, I guess the Kool-Aid is a little stronger. Yeah, I think people are talking themselves into it. That I said last week that I'm struggling to find things to get excited about this team, but and I said that my one wish was for them to actually be exciting. But I'm looking at this offense and I'm like, okay, yeah, DK Metcalf has an insane catch radius. He's a physical freak, and he can make plays down the field. Jonnu Smith can do some nice things. Freiermuth can get open, and Calvin Austin, if you scheme him up, can do some things. But like these are a lot of ifs, right? Like these are a lot of these guys have to be put in the right positions. And then I look at our coaching staff and I'm like, well, shit, we got Arthur Smith and Terrell Austin. Like, who cares how good the players on the field are? Neither of these guys are the sharpest crayons in the tool shed, right? Yes, that was a purposeful mixing of analogies. But
I just hope the shovel and the pitchfork don't end up in the crayon box.
Right, exactly. These, and if it doesn't matter if you have a Ferrari, if you drive it at the speed limit, right? Like Terrell Austin's out there playing soft ass cover 2 defenses, and so it doesn't matter what players you put out there if he's not gonna be creative in his scheme.
Yeah, and I would say I had a point earlier, but it plays into this about the Kool-Aid is like, when Ben was the quarterback, you always knew you had a chance, right? I mean, those 2012 and 2013 teams were not very good, but they were still in the mix, except in 2012 in the final week. That's the only time Tomlin's been eliminated. But getting back to like when the national folks come to town, it used to be where it was like, okay, like, we're a legit playoff contender this year. We got Ben. This is nice. Now, and it's been this way for the past couple of years, it's like, you know what? We need some positive PR because we don't have a franchise quarterback, right? We got Kenny Pickett, or we got Russell Wilson, who's washed, or we got Aaron Rodgers, who might be washed. You know what I mean? Like, that's right. I went full Yinzer right there. But so if you're the Steelers, you're like, yeah, please come to Latrobe. Talk about how great it is, because you know what? We might suck, but everybody, the Cal Brandts and the Peter Schregers, they're sleeping on the Steelers this year or whatever, because it's like build it up, and then whatever happens. But Ian, getting to your point, they were horrible on defense down the stretch last year. Absolutely horrible. And the secondary coach is different and the inside linebackers coach is different. But you know who still has a job? Terrell Austin.
Yeah.
And you know who still has a job if Terrell Austin isn't calling the defense? Mike Tomlin. Yeah. So like we're acting like there's different pieces, but it's still the same person putting the pieces in place. So that's why I'm hesitant. But anyway,
that's fair.
It's a no-brainer for the Steelers to roll out the red carpet because it gives them good PR and it gives them good publicity for a franchise that used to not have to rely on that as much because they would just win games, and now they don't.
I'm still like picking the Steelers to win 10 or 11 games because Mike Tomlin just pulls wins out of his ass like nobody ever does. I don't understand how he does it. I'm like, there are games he should not win at all, and he wins them. And then there are games that he should not lose at all, and he loses. So this fucking guy. I mean, seriously, you guys know him, right?
I get it.
It's fucking annoying sometimes.
Well, go ahead.
So Burner brings up a good question here, but I also wanted to mention that this is the first week of training camp, right? They just put the pads on.
Yeah.
And to use a baseball analogy, right? Like, hope springs eternal in the human breast when the first on opening day, right? That even if you think your team is going to suck, like opening day is exciting. Or like for, baseball, it's like pitchers and catchers report to.
You sound like a Pirates fan.
Yeah, right, exactly. Right. It's like, oh, it just is what it is, right? But and so I think there is some hype associated with like, oh, hey, football's back. And additionally, let's think about the broader Pittsburgh picture here right now, right? Okay, Pitt football lost their last 6 games of the season. The Steelers, lost their last 5,
and then playoff game.
5.
Last 5. Yep. Last 5 games. The Pirates
was really fun to that was great.
Yeah. All right, sorry. Pitt basketball started good and then tanked down the stretch and was horrible and wasn't even like close to the tournament. The Penguins were never really competitive at all this season.
Oh, they suck.
And then the Pirates have just been straight ass all year, right? So, like, people have been looking for something to get excited about since, like,
this is
late
a good point.
November last year.
All right, that's fair.
The broad spectrum of Pittsburgh sports has had nothing to be excited about. And so...
Yeah, but I
mean,
look at this
team on paper, and you're like, hey, we got Aaron Rodgers, we got all these guys who have won things. Like, it's the first week of training camp. People are trying to get excited about something because they've had nothing to be excited about.
That's a very fair point.
I get what you're saying, but like at the very beginning of the show, Mark was talking about the fuck Myles Garrett cheer. It's really, I'm sorry, it's very Brownsy. That's like something a Browns fan base would do because they're grasping at straws to get excited about something. So they need to have a villain. Fuck those guys. Fuck Pittsburgh. Yeah. As if hating Pittsburgh will make Cleveland better. As if us hating Myles Garrett will make our team fucking better. I mean, come on. When did we do that shit? Like 15 years ago. We were like, yeah, whatever, fuck those guys.
Yeah.
We would play Cleveland and be like, yeah, when's the Baltimore game? We didn't even celebrate afterward. We were like, whatever.
Yeah, we were too busy winning.
Yeah. We were like, yeah, whatever. When do we play Baltimore? When's that game?
Well, and Ben, that's a great point.
The fucking Bengals game, that was a fucking second home game as far as I was concerned.
Yeah. Yes.
That was a lock. It was a win for sure.
You know what else? You know what else is Brownsy? Signing a mid-30s quarterback that nobody wanted, and then the next year signing an early 40s quarterback that nobody wanted. That's very Brownsy.
You're right.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to hear that.
By the way, I'd rather have the early 40s quarterback that the Browns signed than the one we got.
I did literally. Joe Flacco coming back to Pittsburgh would be the ultimate redemption tour. He got screwed out of a job by Tyler Palco at Pitt. And then although he's a Super Bowl winner, but still he did not have the Steelers number. But it's just Ben, we're agreeing too much tonight. I like that. I don't like that.
Sorry. Can I jump in again here? Because Burner had a really good question in the chat that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, go for it.
So he said over under on how many times Rodgers checks out of an Arthur Smith play.
Fuck, 100.
But this is like the crack in the armor that we're not talking about, right? Arthur Smith got pissed at Russell Wilson for calling too many audibles against the Bengals last year in a game
scoring a lot of points.
44 points. Right, exactly. So he handcuffed him in December and we lost 5 in a row, right? So how do I know we talked about this when we signed Aaron Rodgers, but like Aaron Rodgers has run the Aaron Rodgers offense for the last decade. He does whatever the fuck he wants.
Aaron Rodgers has no fucks.
Right.
He has no fucks to give at all.
Exactly. He's 41 years old. Like, how do we think this is going to play out, right?
Oh, we know. We've seen this movie before. We know how it's going to play out.
Exactly. This is speaking rhetorically, Ben. I'm not asking you a question. I know we've had some drinks, but this is why this doesn't make sense to me, and why I'm struggling to get excited about it. Right? That it's, we're probably like maybe 2-3 weeks away, like regular season weeks away from like Rodgers and Arthur Smith like really butting heads, and who wins that matchup, right? Like
the quarterback.
I was on a podcast Friday night, the TSS Fantasy Podcast. Thank you to Justin and the commish. It was myself and then a guy from a Ravens podcast. Very nice guy.
Did you tell them that the fantasy football sucks, or did you?
Well, I was grateful because we talked about a lot of other things, but when it came down to that, one of the guys was talking about the fact that Rodgers working with Artie Smith, and I said let's not forget, and he pointed to exactly what Ian just said, or I did rather. I said one of the best games of Russell Wilson's career was our last victory. All right, because Artie Smith didn't want him changing out. And I said, if you think that's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers, especially the close bromance he's got with Tomlin, forget it. I think Rodgers is going to fucking do whatever the hell he wants to do as long as he's out there. And
I think that Rodgers is going to be like, okay, this is the formation, but I want you to run this, and this.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like when Ben had Canada and he was drawing plays in the dirt.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
It's like, that's fucking dumb. Ben would run Canada plays in the red zone just to make the point that they were dumb fucking plays, and then walk on the field going, what the fuck? What do you want?
Yep. Leave me alone. I do want to point out
that said, there was that quote from Tomlin this week about Rodgers where he was like, well, when in Rome, he's going to do what we do. And I was kind of like, is that him saying he's got to listen to what Arthur Smith wants to do? But I agree. I don't
public comment, but
once they get out on the field, Rodgers is going to do whatever he wants to do.
Rodgers sees the field. He sees the defense. He's going to know what works, what he can do, and he's going to make the offense. He's going to drive the offense to do what he knows he can do against that defense.
And the other thing is, Rodgers will throw the ball to a location and hope his receiver is there. And if the receiver isn't there, it's never Aaron Rodgers' fault. It is the receiver was supposed to be where I put the ball.
Exactly. To that point, Ian, there was I saw some stuff this week about, I want to say it was Rodgers and Kelvin Austin. And you could clearly see Rodgers getting Austin to understand how he wanted that route run. Mm-hmm. And for a lot of people, if you only played, Pee Wee football or high school football, the coach tells you how to run the route. That's how you run the route. If your quarterback comes over and says, no, dude, do it this way, you're like, bullshit. Coach told me to do it this way. The NFL is a different world.
Oh, yeah.
It is. And if Rodgers wants you to run it a certain way, then you better run it that way. And I just think that at some point, especially when adversity hits, you're going to have this triumvirate between Tomlin, Smith, and Rodgers. And I see Tomlin siding with Rodgers more than I do with Smith if it comes to that. So we'll see. But I did want to point out something. We were talking about Kyle Brandt earlier, and he did get a pretty good response from Mike Tomlin related to the question about the streak of non-losing seasons.
That was great.
Yeah, I thought I found myself wanting to like plaster that up so every Steelers fans could see it. That it's not Mike Tomlin that cares about this. He
cares about what, Mark?
He does not care about his streak
of the non-losing season.
The non-losing season streak. Yeah. He made it very clear that what was it? Some of these guys were in car seats when this thing started.
Right.
This is about now. But we all know as fans, every single week, it doesn't matter if it's a regional game or a national televised game, at some point the announcers are going to talk about the streak. And all of us as Steeler fans, that's when we tune out and we're like, we don't care. But Mike Tomlin's the same way. he'd much rather have a couple postseason wins than have that streak still going. I guarantee it. Yeah. So I thought Brandt did a good idea, or did a good job to get that out of him.
I look back at probably the greatest coaching job that's ever been done. This pains me to admit it. Was Tom Landry. 20 consecutive winning seasons.
Yeah, winning. Yeah.
Winning seasons.
Yep.
20 years in a row.
Yeah.
And his reward for that was Jerry Jones bought the team and fired him. Okay, granted, it had been some years since he.
Yeah, they were on the decline.
Had been a winner, but he was unceremoniously executed, if you will.
Yeah,
it wasn't. But yeah, I mean, that's a bigger deal. Like that's a much like when announcers are talking about, this dude's had 15, 16, 17 consecutive winning seasons. That's fucking huge. Yeah, Mike's had some years there that were winners, and he's had some years there that were 500.
Yep.
Non-losing.
No, it's a great streak.
As the kids would put it, those seasons were mid.
But very.
That said, I would argue one of Tomlin's best coaching jobs was 2019 when Ben was hurt.
Oh yeah,
he
100%.
dragged that team to an 8-8 record.
100%. I agree.
Although
Mason Rudolph really did not do himself any favors that year. I mean, that was horrible. Like, you cannot go into San Francisco, have your defense hand you 5 turnovers and lose that fucking game. You can't do that. Like that
game hurt.
I mean, that was his worst game of his career. Like, that was worse than that fucking Detroit game he started when they benched Ben on purpose because they were like, we're in the playoffs anyway. Fuck it. Mason, you play. And then he tied them 16-16.
He had COVID. He couldn't play.
Oh, whatever. Point being,
it was the middle of the season too. They didn't have the fucking playoffs. So what the fuck?
Okay, all right, great. The Lions were starting DBs. I got my details wrong because I'm a little intoxicated. The Lions were starting DBs.
We've had some drinks.
They were literally on the street the week before, and they were starting those DBs. They were not playing at all.
Jesus, Burner. Oh, my God.
Magic Johnson he did.
I want to discuss this real quick. Jamal brings this up, and thank you, Jamal, for bringing this up. There was a video, a video this week where Muth is running a route, and Rodgers checks it down to somebody underneath, and you can clearly see Muth just kind of throws his hands up. And it has led to people speculating that, Muth and Rodgers aren't getting along, not on the same page. And look, this is the problem when thousands of people go to camp, they get a few video clips, they get some images, they post it, and automatically we jump to conclusions. And Jamal, I'm not saying you're jumping to this. I think you're just kind of repeating what you've heard and read. But this is often what happens. I think Muth was just pissed that he just didn't get the ball there. He felt like he was open on the route and probably didn't understand. That happens every single game. Every receiver thinks they're always open and always wants the ball. So I don't, to my knowledge, there's no disconnect.
It's usually wide receivers though, not tight ends.
Yes. No, valid point. Yep. And I don't, my guess is they're just fine. I think that was just a great image capture, or a video capture that somebody got. And I don't know, but I'll leave it at that. For all I know, everything's cool with those guys.
Old Mother Hubbard had to go put one of her kids to bed.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
Burner. I throw my hands up whenever I watch Muth block.
Well, he's not great at it.
He's not.
This
I mean, I will give him props for effort last year. It was a lot better, right? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense too, Jamal. Yeah. If Muth ran the wrong route, maybe, see, again, throwing his arms up in the air, that doesn't mean he's necessarily mad at Rodgers. He might have been mad at himself, and believe me, been there, done that. No doubt about it. Yeah.
This is so random. This is random, but I'm going to throw this out there.
Why are you so random, Scarpino?
It happens. As I'm looking through the all-time wins list for coaches.
You're right, Mr. Shellback. Maybe Jesse did catch that goddamn ball, and it broke the plane.
He did, but based on the rules, it wasn't a catch. Yes.
Yeah, at the time, because the rules were fucking stupid. You're right.
Agreed. I agree.
I agree. You're right. Based upon the rule at that time, that was the correct call.
So, looking at the all-time wins list in coaching history in the NFL, looking at some common numbers. 170 is a common number. 170 regular season wins is a common number shared by 4 coaches. Pete Carroll, Tom Coughlin, Sean Payton, and Mike Shanahan. 2 are active. All 4 won a Super Bowl.
Wow.
And then you keep scrolling down the list of coaches.
Down the list.
I stumble on the number 80. And 80, there are 5 coaches. There are 5 coaches who have won 80 games, and exactly 80 games. Bruce Arians, Brian Billick, Ray Flaherty, Jimmy Johnson, and Sean McVay.
God, Jimmy only won 80, huh?
He got fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no,
4 of those 5
Twice.
won a Super Bowl, and then Ray Flaherty won 2 NFL championships. So the most common shared wins in the NFL in NFL history, every single one of them won a championship. I've had some drinks, but that's real. That's fucking wild. I just holy moly.
I'm speechless.
Yeah, I mean that was okay. I'll be back.
Woo!
Call God.
We just had a Ric Flair in the comments from Burner.
Ray Flaherty, but Ric Flair, same fucking thing.
You should have seen those robes that Ray Flaherty used to come in wearing. Unbelievable on the sideline.
Who did Ray Flaherty even coach? I don't think you draw a blank. Ray Flaherty coached
Colts.
He coached the Boston Redskins.
Shit! That's
am I allowed? Am I allowed to say that?
I was going to say. I think you just
who became the Washington Redskins.
That was back when they played like 12-game seasons. Though,
and then the New York Yankees, the New York Yankees, and then the Chicago Hornets. This guy fucking coached teams that don't even exist anymore.
Hey, speaking of, can I?
Dude, this guy was a boss.
80 games is a lot when you're only playing like 10 or 12 games a season.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
So, Mike Tomlin has 183 career wins. If the Steelers win 10 games this year, he'll tie Chuck Noll. Do you guys realize this? He's only 10 games behind Chuck Noll. Now, granted, to your point, though, right? We're playing 17 games a season now. Noll was only playing 14 games.
Yep.
Right.
But he's only 10 games behind Chuck Noll, who is 9th all time. Dan Reeves at 190 wins is 10th all time. So he 7 wins gets him into the top 10 all time in victories.
Yeah, I mean Raul is correct though. I mean Chuck had a better playoff.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Winning percentage.
Yeah. I'm not at all saying Mike Tomlin's a better coach than Chuck Noll. I'm just saying
more accomplished anyway.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a testament to his longevity for sure. The fact that he's had all those non-losing seasons, and as you pointed out,
I really appreciate the fact though, as you pointed out earlier, that Mike doesn't give a shit about his non-losing seasons.
No. Mike is still passionate about winning games that matter
now. Winning games now.
Yeah, and I think that's good. In my book, that he's not. Well, let's face it. He may have done the greatest acting job ever in that interview, but I didn't take that. I thought he was very genuine.
Yeah, so did I. He was like, I don't really think much of it.
No.
It's a nice thing for you guys to announce me with, and that's great and all, but
the thing that caught my attention was that and I agree with him that for these dudes, like they were in car seats when this all started. And you know who else was in car seats? These modern Steelers fans on Twitter. So like he was speaking to them as well.
Yeah, so Scarpino with a shot at Gen Z, he's basically telling you guys you're all full of shit.
He was speaking to the no cap LMFAO crew.
That brings an interesting question. I was thinking about this earlier. Now, obviously, none of us want a repeat of the 1980s. Okay,
God,
for the most
no.
part, okay?
That was horrible.
But do you think some of these fans actually need that?
Well,
do they need to be brought back to earth a little bit? You know,
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like the fuck Myles Garrett thing today, that was reminiscent of the 80s. It was Brownsy. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it again. Yeah. Like that was. We are so desperate to feel relevant that we're going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like 2008, would we have done that? Nope. We'd be like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, our guy's really good. Your guy might be good too, but your team sucks. We don't care.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that would have been that.
Yeah, Scarps, you might be right. Maybe that's what it'll take. Is that stretch, that 3-season stretch, you know?
It's just and maybe it's just because social media is just so everywhere now.
Yeah.
But for a team that you're right, Ben, for a team that doesn't give a shit about the Browns or Myles Garrett, man, these fans sure talk about him every goddamn day on Twitter.
Yep, right.
And I mean, we all talk about the same subject because we're passionate about it, but you're absolutely right. Man, when we were winning games, losing to the Browns or Bengals was the anomaly.
Oh, right.
And now if you split with the Ravens, business as usual, right?
Yeah.
But now you're starting to split with the Bengals and Browns. Yep. Even the Browns are starting to. I mean, the Browns have been so terrible for years, but even the Browns are starting to win games now, and you're kind of like, okay. So it's like it's almost like that saying, like when you feel like you're losing control of something, you try to take more control of other things.
Yep. Exactly.
And they're sitting there thinking like, oh, we can control this chant right now. We're in Latrobe. We're in Latrobe. We're Latrobe. We're, we got the Pat McAfee show here, fuck Myles Garrett. TJ's all, fuck Myles Garrett. It's like, you know what, man? Like who in that moment, who gives a shit?
If I'm Myles Garrett, I'm just laughing. I mean,
I'm Myles Garrett. I'm flattered.
I'm living in your head.
I am flattered. I don't know. Yep. I'm not laughing. I am flattered. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. Thank you.
And I mean this.
Yeah.
And I mean this. And I don't know. And I don't know if I doubt Pat McAfee's going to the Browns training camp. I think this was a planned visit. He's from Pittsburgh. I totally get it. But
well, there's that.
The Rodgers connection too.
Yeah, that's true. But the point is there's a purpose for him being in Latrobe, right? But are Browns fans fucking screaming at the camera, fuck TJ Watt? Like that's just like
yeah.
Like,
it was.
And if they did,
yeah.
And if they did, it would be so Brownsy.
It's Brownsy. Right. It's fucking Brownsy.
So don't be like that.
Let's just not be that guy. Let's not do that.
No, I agree. Jalen Ramsey has had a very nice camp so far, and he has played all over the secondary, as a matter of fact. What's the hope for him this year? Is it just to stay healthy, be an impact? We all know communication's a huge issue. You've got Slay, you've got him back there. The communication problems should not be what they've been in the past. And didn't Peyton Wilson allude to something today?
Yeah, we all know what happened. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, what was that exactly?
Yeah, at some point it would be nice if they elaborated. I understand why they don't want to. Don't get me wrong, but they all keep beating around the bush. We all know it was this or that.
I don't know, and I agree with Scarps. It probably was not Minka, but the flip side of that is this, and this is where the conspiracy theories come from.
Yeah.
Minka's gone. They traded him.
Yep.
So were they willing to give him up because he was the culprit? My thinking is at the end of the season, that's when the Steelers defense got worse, especially against the pass. Well, no, they didn't do very well against the run, which is why Jack Sawyer was drafted.
And Derek Harmon.
And Derek Harmon and Y.A. Black, who is, basically just a two-gapping tackle. When somebody gouges you for 300 yards rushing, well, not quite 300 yards because their quarterback kneeled.
Took a knee, yeah, 299.
Took a knee twice. It was 301, but then it was 299 because he took a knee twice. Thank you so much, Lamar. We really appreciate you not making it 300 yards. It was not quite 300. Thanks.
299 is almost worse.
Yeah, it is, dude. Fuck, it was horrible. It was humiliating, especially fifth loss in a row. To the Ravens. Jesus. Anyway, I digress. Yeah. The communication issues were maybe they were a combination of Minka and Sutton. I don't know, but things have changed because there were communication issues again. And it's been a theme for how many years now? It's just, and I'm fucking tired of it. I remember Mike Mitchell being back there, and it was a constant thing.
It was, it was all the time with that dude.
Well, and it goes back to Scarp's point too about Carol Austin. It's like just because there's some new parts back there. I mean, why do we think he's going to suddenly change and not just want to sit and cover two or something like that? That's my concern too. I don't know. I guess it's just the realist in me, maybe a pessimist perhaps, but
that's just because you're a dick.
Well, this is definitely true.
Pessimist.
Yeah.
I prefer to think of myself as a pragmatist.
Yes.
Cause, effect, outcome.
I'm not laughing at you. It was just like a really that was a good explanation.
I'm just saying, man. It's like I said earlier, my friends are always on me every summer. Can't you just be more optimistic? Can't you just be more positive?
Well,
I am a realist. No, I am going to tell you what they're going to do, and you're going to believe me or you're not. And then if you don't believe me, well, you will in January. It's fine, and you'll be like, "Yeah, you're right. It's fine."
Yeah, I've never. I consider myself a realist as well, and a lot of people see that as being a pessimist. And I don't.
That's because your delivery sucks, Mark.
Well, okay, I'll work on my delivery. I just don't believe in blowing hot air at
I agree.
People. I don't.
No, I agree.
I mean, I would love to be able to say that having Aaron Rodgers is, oh shit, it's a guarantee we're going to go to the playoffs. We're going to win a game or two. The dude's 41 years old.
It's fucking spackle and duct tape and baling wire, man.
I'm sorry. Yeah, this is not 41-year-old Tom Brady. This is 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers. There's a difference.
I'm sorry. Burner in the chat is just killing it right now.
Jesus Christ.
I am not repeating that, Burner.
Oh my God. That's fantastic. That is fantastic, Burner. You are a treasure. You really are. Like here.
You could also say your high school girlfriend too.
We love you all in the chat. You're all. You guys make this show.
Oh my God, we haven't even gotten to Casey yet.
No. Look, we still are we're 8 days out, I think, now from the first preseason game. Still, we will be played against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh,
and
it's preseason. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, but I will ask this question, Ian: would you play Aaron Rodgers in Week 1 of the preseason?
I would play him for one drive in Week 1 of the preseason.
One drive. Okay.
One drive.
Scarps, would you play him?
Yeah, I would. it's going to take time for them to get on the same page. I'm not saying you have to play him a lot, but I would play him. He needs some sort of snappage. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, he said it's still a work in progress today.
If for no other reason, then Aaron Rodgers has a very distinct cadence in his snap count, and they've mentioned it during camp of guys, even the line, working with Rodgers on his snap count. And so it's not only getting in and out of the huddle and working on relaying the play calls and whatever that verbiage is, but just working on with the guys on the field on the snap count when you have a play clock winding down. Like, they just need reps. You just need reps at that.
I agree.
Yes, that's why I said one drive.
Yeah, you'd play him also?
I would play him, but it wouldn't necessarily be for one drive. If the first drive is a 3 and out, no. If it's Ben Roethlisberger and your first drive is a 3 and out, then you sit Ben down. Because Ben's been around forever and the guys know him and he knows them and, it is what it is. It's not. So I'd probably play him 10 or 12 plays and then pull him.
That might be the whole first quarter.
Might be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Never know.
It may or may not be, but I agree. They need time together as a unit.
I think so too.
To get their shit together, and then you pull him and sit him down.
Yeah, I mean it's young offensive line. You're going to have new guys in the backfield, a couple new receivers as well. I definitely would give him a series or two, no doubt about it.
At
Casey,
least
what
to the credit of the strength and conditioning staff this year, at least our
he didn't push a sled.
Quarterback that we signed didn't have to push a sled and pull a hamstring this year. So
well,
we've got that going for us.
It was a new strength and conditioning staff last year, and they didn't exactly acquit themselves very well.
No, they did not.
That situation. So yeah, probably didn't repeat that process.
Didn't Art and some of his comments in the offseason even kind of make references to the fact that too many of those soft tissue injuries, too many of that kind of stuff?
He did, and even Tomlin mentioned that too. Yeah. He said we got to evaluate our strength and conditioning because we had a lot of soft. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that point in the show where I'm going to turn it over to the late, great Casey Kasem. And
where is he? There he is.
I'm sure, as the kids say, he's got a banger coming for you, kids. Casey, it's all yours.
Casey's Coast to Coast, American Top 40. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the week that was July 30th, 1974. Our favorite correspondent, Ryan, is back with us again this week, and he writes, Dear Casey, they're the greatest players I ever did see. I really love the Steelers, want to glaze their trees. Glaze them, glaze them, glaze them, glaze them, glaze them all the time. Ooh, TJ, I sure show you a good time. Casey? Casey, that's, of course, a parody of The Joker by the Steve Miller Band off their album, The Joker, released in 1973. I've been called a joker a time or two in my day. What you don't know is that the original title of that song was The Glazer, and it was written by a collective group of modern Steelers fans. To be clear, I've never been called a glazer, unless you're referring to my love for Mason Rudolph, which is strictly platonic. Speaking of love, Casey, have you seen that new Sydney Sweeney commercial?
Oh, boy.
And before you call me some Nazi sympathizer, like those online radical left-wing lunatics who said the commercial was spreading Nazi propaganda, I assure you that when she mentioned her jeans, I wasn't thinking about her blonde hair and blue eyes. I was thinking about her Bodacious knockers. I was so
He's
close
honest.
I was so close. So close to keeping it together. All right. Casey.
Personally, I hadn't noticed, but
Yeah. Casey, I haven't seen cannons like that since the Steelers won Super Bowl 43 at Raymond James Stadium. I haven't seen a chest like that since I was an alternate for Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean 2. Ah, shit. I haven't seen a rack like that since I stumbled upon the West Virginia State Record buck at the Whitetail World exhibit at Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitter.
An amazing reference.
Speaking of guys who like to go into the woods and take mega doses of DMT and say things like, a butterfly is just another term for a caterpillar. It's really the caterpillar the entire time. That's Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers quarterback, who was high on DMT for his Enigma documentary. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, he sure has been on his best behavior. I would have bet by this time he would have at least brought up chemtrails, Jeffrey Epstein not killing himself, or the moon landing was fake. But no, Casey, Rodgers hasn't created any waves. However, it's only July. I just don't trust Rodgers. There's still plenty of time to rock the boat. Well, Ryan, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars and keep your radio tuned where it is. Down 5 spots this week to number 13. Here's the Hughes Corporation with Rock the Boat.
The Hughes Corporation. Fantastic.
Well done, Ryan.
Yes,
One of my biggest regrets in life is not keeping track of the Casey songs I've selected over the years because I forget I forget which ones I did, and I'm like, I think I did this one. I don't know. I'd have to go back through every show and write it down.
Right. I guarantee you we haven't had the Hughes Corporation yet. I
Probably not, but I have no fucking idea.
Thanks everybody for joining us on an earlier night this week. Should be back at our regularly scheduled time next week, but Steelers keep rolling on through camp, and we'll preview a little bit anyway. It's just preseason, but we'll preview that first one and talk a little bit more about it, as well as everything going on with the Steelers and camp. Once again, for these jokers, I'm Steel Dead signing off. This has been Steel City Blitz podcast presented by DEK Roofing Incorporated of South Florida. And hey, go Steelers.
Ravens suck.
And hey, Cordell Patterson got cut. How about that?
We've had some drinks.